This is a video on how to load an Atelier Robin F100 series function generator. I have the function generator set up and ready to go right here. You can see that. F125 ready. I am here at the Atelier Robin download page where you get the software. Now if you already have an Windows XP machine, makes things a bit easier, because as you can see here where it talks about Windows 7 or 8, you must do a firmware update before you can load it, because it needs to update the firmware of the F125 to have a compatible USB driver. So you must do that with a Windows XP machine, and once you've upgraded the firmware to the latest version, then you can use a Windows 7 or 8 machine. So I'm going to assume that you already have the F100 software. I have an icon right here. I chose to create a desktop icon when I installed the F100 software. So here's what the software looks like. I've already had a program in there where I was testing, but I'm going to show you how to load a number of programs or a number of frequency sets at one time. Come to the Electro-Herbalism homepage, go to Frequencies, scroll down to the F100 frequency files. Now these are a number of sets with the base parameters set differently. For a plasma tube device, this would be the basic one. It's using a 50% duty cycle and does a fuzz of 1 Hertz at 0.0333 Hertz steps. I believe that's the way that reads. It's been a long time since I created these. Anyway, to download the entire zipped folder, you would click here, downloading there. Take that zipped folder. Looks like this. I have WinRAR. You can use 7-zip if you don't have that. To unzip this, I pull this right here. Yeah, I already have one because I've done this before practicing. Now I have the folder. Let's get rid of this. And we can get rid of this too. Now I have this folder, which is full of every frequency file that was in that zipped folder. See all these frequency files. And now we're going to load one or more of those into the F100. To load files in the F100, I'm assuming you already have this thing plugged into the USB port of your computer, and it's been recognized, knows it's there. Come here and say FGen, copy to FGen. Do not interrupt this process until it's done. This process is very short, so just don't go unplugging the USB cable or the power while it's done. Say OK. And kind of a bad example here, because if you bring it up the first time, just because I've done this before, it showed up the correct way. I unzipped this folder right here to my desktop to make it easy to find. So I would come here to desktop, look for F100 Plasma 50 Fuzz 1.103333 and say open, and it shows all the frequency files in there. Now to load these, as many as you want, onto the F100, there's a number of ways to do this. I could choose one at a time. Say I want to do that and say open. It's done. That's all it takes, is just a few seconds for each one. Now say if I want to do more than one at a time, I would say copy to FGen, and I can choose more. Now if I do this, just click on these, it's going to just choose one at a time. But now, just like in Windows, you can hold down the control key and choose whichever ones you want. Come over here, choose another one. As long as I keep holding down the control key, see, it has all those highlighted. Now if I messed up and touched one without holding the control key, lost all the ones I was going to choose. Oh no, I have to do it again. Hold down the control key and choose my files again. And then I think open's a bad choice here. It actually should be load. So I'm going to hit open, and it's loading all those files, and it's done. I mean, that's all it took to copy those 7 or 8 files. Now, if you want to copy every single one, there's a couple ways you can do that. Here we go. Fgen, copy to Fgen. Hold here. You scroll all the way to the side here. Now, just like in Windows again, if I want to choose all the files between the start and finish, I can hold the Shift key while I hit this last file, while I select this last file with the left mouse button. It's loaded every single one. Again, if I hit one file, it unselects all those and just chooses that one file. Another way to do this is while you're inside this window, you can hit Control A and it also selects that. Okay, this is going to load every file in that directory to the F100. And since these are such small files, one little thing about, I don't know if it's the Windows program here that is not being updated, but it looks like it's stuck on this. It's actually not stuck. If you look at the F100, if you can see that, it actually is loading those files, and that shows you how fast they load. Done writing. We now have all those files, and let's see, that was 239 files it wrote. And that's the way to load an F100 series function generator.